A Veterans Day program was held at the Memorial Union today to celebrate veterans and mark 100 years since Memorial Union's dedication to service members. The Memorial Union was dedicated to fallen UW-Madison service members. The names of Badgers who were killed in the Civil War, Spanish-American War, and World War I are inscribed on wooden plaques in Memorial Hall. Today's ceremony closely mirrored the original groundbreaking 100 years ago.
The role of college union to make gathering and learning possible at all times was as important a century ago as it is today. Part of what makes Memorial Union so unique is that it has always been simultaneously both a memorial and a center for life.
The Wisconsin Union team created a new W pin to commemorate the anniversary. In the early days of the Union, UW-Madison graduates got a W lapel pin, symbolizing their connection to the university. During World War II, service members wrote to the Union team asking for replacements after losing theirs during service.